Hello again. After some of our recent videos, we thought it was time to focus in a bit more on lights and how they work in HitFilm, specifically with relation to shadows. Because HitFilm is a 3D compositor, that gives you all kinds of cool things you can do with shadows that you can't do in a 2D compositor. So let's use this really very simple example to show you exactly what's going on. First, we'll just jump out to the perspective view so you can see what this project is that I've got set up here. It's basically a grey plane and a bit of text, and the text, as you can see, is slightly in front of the plane. That's all there is to it, but it's a nice way of showing how this stuff works. You'll also note here that I've got my viewer split into 3 panels. This is actually the first time I think that we've shown the fact that you can split the viewer. This is obviously really useful when you're working in 3D. This is a HitFilm Ultimate feature, and yeah, you can go up to 4 views if you want. We'll stick with 3 for this because that's all we need. Okay, so let's just quickly jump back into our camera. So let's add this white light that we've set up. You can see in these views here, the orthographic views, you've got a top view here and a left view. The light is pointing at the text, which is this just here, and you've got the plane back here. And as you can see in the camera view, this is lit up, there's a nice little spotlight circle going on, and we've got a shadow that's appeared here. Of course, the benefit of working in 3D is that you can move all this around and it will just work naturally. So we can move the light to the left or move it to the right. And you can see that the shadow is updating as we move the light. So that's all nice and simple, and it kind of works more or less like real life, so you don't have to think too much about light placement. There's different types of lights. This is a spotlight which we'll be using for this demo. You've got lots of control over how the light works. You can see here there's all sorts of settings for fiddling around. We won't go into all of those in detail at the moment. Okay, let's turn on some more lights, because you don't have to work with just one light, you can have as many as you want. For example, let's turn on this red light. Here you go, you can see that the lights are blending together. So we've got the white and the red light working here. We've got the 2 shadows, this one here from the white light, this one here from the red light. This shadow has been set up to be a bit more diffuse, so it's softer than this really harsh shadow here. You can turn on a blue light, again, the light all blends together and we've got a 3rd shadow. You can see over here that we've got our 3 lights showing the position. Our camera's just here. So it's very easy to position all this stuff in 3D. Okay, let's just look at another example. We'll go over here. We've got another plane here and some text sitting on it. You can see the shadow at the base here, where the text is connecting with the plane, is fairly sharp, whereas as it gets further away, it gets softer. We've animated this text to move slightly, and you can see that as it moves away from the plane, the shadow actually gets softer. This is all optional and depends how you set up your project, but you can see that if you want, you can have very realistic shadows. So for one more example, let's go back to this scene which you saw earlier in the week with some of the particles. We've customized it slightly so the particles behave differently and set up a light that's actually casting a shadow. So you can see here that as the particles are created, they're casting shadows on the floor and on the walls as required. We've only set up a single light here for this demonstration coming down from the top, sort of simulating this light here. Obviously if you wanted, you could also set up lights to match these other ones. So you've got a lot of flexibility whether you're trying to match something in a live action shot or create some interesting motion graphics. As always, let us know if you've got questions through Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or the blog. Thanks for watching.